Hello, everyone. This is going to be my wrap up video. I create these, I don't know, every 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, just as a way to kind of let you know what I saw through the week. So I'm actually kind of doing weeks 1 and 2 here because I wasn't your instructor. So anyway, I try not to keep these too long, but this one may go a little long because I'm just explaining exactly my thought process. But I have my notes written down here, so if I'm looking down, that is where I am reminding myself of the things I wanted to say. So this video comes after grading the Unit 1 papers and discussion forums for Units 1 and 2. So the first thing is should be a reminder that you can earn bonus points in the discussion forum. So I put a post in the announcements forum about getting full points on your discussion forum. And that comes from a a post from you that meets the requirements of the writing prompt, and then you rating and responding to 3 peers' posts. So, what's involved in those responses is you commenting on, highlighting important takeaways from the original post, and elaborating on those things, and then talking about how it relates to you or how you connect it to your own practice, whatever the topic is. So that's an ideal post. To earn bonus points, you would include a new reference for the original poster, where, if they're talking about constructivism or ethics, whatever, some source you found to be helpful or applicable to their post, include that, and I will give you 1/10 of a point. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you do that in all 8 weeks of discussion forums, that's 1/10 of a point 3 times 8, I guess. So 2.4 additional points. Again, may not sound like a lot, but they can add up. Another way to earn bonus points is to ask a follow on question. Now, I see sometimes where someone says, "Hey, I really like your post. How do you keep your students engaged?" Whatever. That's not going to get you credit because you're not doing those things that equate to a an adequate post or response, which would be, again, highlighting something that was important or that you in particular connected to, elaborating on it, and then talking about something, in your own experience. So doing that and then asking a follow-on question will get you 1/10 of a point. And then just an exceptionally meaningful post. So that's kind of ill-defined, I know, but it's not based on length. It's it's kind of based on you meeting the adequate requirements and then really elaborating or really discussing an additional reference, not just providing one, but going into detail. So those are rare, but or of the 3 types that can get you bonus points, that's probably the most rare, and like I said, kind of ill defined, but that's out there. So if I read your response to someone and I just feel like, wow, that's really exceptional, this person took the time to elaborate and expound on the post and the reader's understanding. Maybe it's collaborative in some way. I don't know. Maybe it's taking that person's reference and adding, that they included in their post and adding to it. Whatever. It is subjective completely, but that is a way for you to earn bonus points. Alternatively, if your post does not meet your response doesn't meet those baseline requirements, you can lose points. I will always give you a warning and I'll include what post I'm referring to, or there might be more than one. If your response doesn't meet, substantive, that's the word, then you can lose a tenth of a point each time you have a post that's not terribly relevant or expansive, right? And then of course, if you only rate and or respond to one or two of your peers as opposed to three, then you can lose a third of a point per infraction, because that is a requirement of UO people. And so what I do is, if I make it a point, 1 point, meaning not to not to respond to or rate any of your peers. And then if you respond to two, then you get 2/3 of a point. I only subtract a third of a point. Okay. All right. The next thing. All right. Your papers. I know that through the course of your program, you haven't always received specific APA formatting guidance, and I don't fault instructors on that because we're all volunteers and we all are busy. But I'm here to instruct you on how to format your papers. So I sent an email, though some of you, I think about 8 of you, got your papers edited word by word, and I told you what you did incorrectly. So I need you to apply those APA formatting rules. I've given you several resources in the course forum to help you on your APA formatting, but you have to have things like a title page. Many of you did not do that. You just put the assignment information and then you start writing, or if that. So for student papers, you must have a title page. You must have a separate references page. Your voice, your wording needs to be academic. So somebody was using the term kids. So kids in my class. Kids it's informal speech. Children or students. So read in those books or journal articles you read, you won't see anybody using the word kids. Also,
what did you say?
Also, the robot overlord is talking to me there. Also, no contractions. So I saw some of that, it's very important, or we haven't, whatever. So there are no contractions used in APA. Just think about a formal voice. Yes, this paper is for your classmates, but you are in an academic setting, so what would you expect to read in a journal article or in a book? That's what you need to include in your paper is formal academic voice. You are directed to use first person by APA, so in my classroom, or I do this or that. Third person would be the author has this style in the classroom, or the author's viewpoint is whatever. So you'll see that in some papers because it sounds academic, but it's not. It's archaic, and APA directs you to use first person. So I think that's all I can think of in those particular papers when we're talking about academic voice. But if I think of something, I'll let you know. Let's see, uploading. Okay, so for your written assignments or portfolios, whatever you're uploading, please do so in the Word version, not a PDF. I can't run PDFs through the plagiarism checker. So now that you have this warning, I will not accept PDFs after Unit 2. If you've already uploaded, I didn't see anybody had uploaded, but if you've, for whatever reason, already got a PDF, I'll give you a warning, but certainly in Unit 4, I will not accept PDFs because I can't check them for plagiarism. Plus, when I edit, it's a PDF's a little bit more harder to edit because I have to, edit text, and and I have the ability to do so in Adobe. Okay, I have the advanced features, but it's just harder to edit in PDF. So for those two reasons, please always upload a Word version. Details and sources. Okay, some of you are, a lot of you are making statements like constructivism allows students to discover their own learning and it better equips students with 21st century skills. Really? Okay. Who says? So you've got to provide sources when you make a declarative statement like that. Yeah, I know it's true, but one, your reader doesn't. Secondly, you didn't know that until you read it somewhere, even if it was in 5220 or one of those earlier classes. So if you're going to make a statement like that, or you're going to say constructivism is defined as, whatever, who's your source? What's your source? Way too many papers that did not have citations where I would expect to see one. So, you think, well, everybody knows that. No, everybody doesn't know that. Everybody knows the sky is blue. That is a commonly held belief, but maybe everybody in the education community knows constructivism is advantageous to learning, but you need a source. So I didn't count off for any kind of plagiarism where that's related, but I did mention you need to cite a source. If you're going to make that declarative statement that assumes, the reader knows what you're talking about, or, you want us to assume that you are correct, cite a source. Because otherwise it's just you saying, writing your opinion, and that's not good enough. All right, so be sure you cite your sources. If you think something's true, find a writer that agrees with you, I guess. That's not really how it's supposed to work. But if you have an idea, go out, find someone who has written something about what you are writing about and use their ideas because they are trustworthy if they're published, okay? All right, let's see, prioritize your ideas. So in the papers that you're writing, you're giving some good information, okay? Your classmates should be learning from you, but some of you just kind of all over the place. You're just kind of writing down good information and it's hard to follow, but also your papers are way too long, okay? So if you've got a, 10-page paper and there are 3 prompts, like define learning, um, compare and contrast your teaching philosophy, and talk about challenges, I think, of constructivism or inquiry-based learning, whatever it was, you shouldn't have an 11-page paper. 2 to 3 paragraphs hitting the most important points, because one, your classmates don't have time to read those papers. I don't really have time to read those papers. And your readers are those who aren't grading are going to just get fatigued from reading all this good information, but they're they may not finish your paper because it's just like, man, this guy's just going on and on about the same thing. So really prioritize what you want to tell the reader, be concise, but provide those details. Again, if you're going to say that constructivism is a valuable tool for teachers, okay, why? And who says? And how is a teacher using constructivism? So it's a balance. Okay, that's where a scholarly, trained writer knows what's important, knows how to give the key information in concise ways that provide enough detail. So those are one of the skills you're developing in this program is, in addition to all the things you've learned, you have to be able to communicate it. You have to be able to articulate in a way that your reader will get the best information, the most information, and then go out and be able to apply that information that you took, took the time to learn. Okay, so I think that was it. Just keep in mind, I'm here for you. Any questions? If you're someone who got back one of those papers and it doesn't make sense, you want to question me, that is more than fine. If you did not get a paper, you will be, because I want everyone to have an edited paper as soon as possible. So I'll probably be doing some more over these next few days, even if the grades are going to stay the same, just so you can have those corrections and then apply them in future papers. All right. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and see you in the course room.